It's Wednesday, May 19th, and the time for your Barbados Today morning news update. Outstanding severance for former workers of the Accra Beach Hotel and Spa and the Hilton Barbados Resort is being processed by the National Insurance Scheme and should be paid soon. NIS Chairman Leslie Haynes QC gave the assurance, even as he maintained the scheme's commitment to assist severed workers across the hospitality sector, seemingly neglected by their former employers. His comments come as the frustrated former Accra employees prepare to protest once again for the balance of the money owed to them.
There's a process. I can't tell you as I sit down here whether the Accra workers have been paid, but I can tell you if they have not yet been paid, they will be paid shortly, and their 25% of the severance pay that the employer who should have been given a rebate on, that will be paid to the employees if they have not already been paid. The Hilton employees, if the Hilton employees have not yet been paid, there's a procedure that's being set up for them, and I think that there's a procedure that's being set up for them that they will be paid shortly.
Despite already spending some $200 million over the COVID-19 pandemic to assist displaced workers, Haynes told Barbados Today the NIS would continue to assist persons in search of their just due.
We are not going to allow Barbadians to suffer and not get their benefits because we are cash trapped. We have $3.8 billion all over in investments. So all we do is cash in an investment. So we will cash in the investments, pay the benefits, and hopefully down the road, hopefully by the time it comes to an end, we will catch ourselves. When the whole thing comes to an end, we have to stop, make an assessment, and determine how best we go forward.
Understood.
But there's no issue with people not getting their benefits. Yes, the unemployment fund, as you may know, that went down to zero. The unemployment fund that we have, but that doesn't mean that we don't have money and we can't cash in our investments.
Consumers are being warned that supermarket prices could increase due to a surge in container freight rates. President of the Shipping Association of Barbados, Alan Kelman, said that shipping freight from various destinations, including China, has risen, partly due to the recent blocking of the Suez Canal. Kelman said the Barbadians can expect to feel the pinch of higher prices.
The costs will rise because of that Suez Canal and shortage of containers available. And also, about a year or so ago, the vessels were more or less forced to use low sulfur fuel. This resulted in some vessels actually having to retrofit. That is a great cost. So those factors come into play as far as the freight rates are concerned. And then you have the accessorial charges by the various companies, various ports. They have increased too as well. So it is expected that here we will have to pay more freight. There will be increases. In fact, I've seen some already. If you go to supermarkets, you can see that there have been increases in prices. So I suspect that it might go even higher. And given what was said in the media recently by some retailers, there will be increases to come.
The COVID-19 pandemic has greatly changed the labor landscape in the region. That's the view of the labor ministers of Guyana and St. Lucia, who agree that adjustments have to be made to meet the needs of both employers and employees in the Caribbean. Speaking during a webinar hosted by the International Labour Organization yesterday, Guyana's Joseph Hamilton admitted that the labor landscape was quickly changing and the health and the safety of workers were of paramount importance.
The labor landscape in Guyana is changing drastically. The whole issue of labor relations here, the whole issue of the labor market is changing drastically because of the new sector that has come to Guyana, more so the oil and gas sector, and all the relevant spin-off that will come with it. And at the level of the government of Guyana, we are putting everything in place to ensure that we can facilitate employers and employees to contribute to national development. We have increased by 200% the amount of occupation safety and health officers we had in this country when we took office. And we have increased by some 40% labor officers in Guyana to ensure that we can properly supervise labor relations. We can properly ensure that workers are working in safe spaces.
Minister Stevenson King of St. Lucia said it was critical to strengthen resolve while trying to rebuild from the disastrous impact of the COVID-19 pandemic.
St. Lucia, like most Caribbean governments, is totally dedicated to the pursuit of unemployment eradication. We continue to grapple with high rates of unemployment, particularly among our youth, which has been exacerbated by the current circumstances of the COVID-19 pandemic. In that regard, I am pleased to announce that as part of our national strategy for recovery from the COVID-19 crisis and our commitment towards longer-term resilience, we have accepted the recommendations of the ILO to implement a National Public Employment Program, PEP. The initiative is geared towards the generation and institutionalization of decent, productive, and sustainable jobs.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To news from the region, health officials in Guyana have written to the Pan American Health Organization requesting a report on its disclosure of the presence of a COVID-19 variant in the country. We get more from Gordon Mosley of News Source Guyana.
The American Health Organization PAHO has stated that the Brazilian COVID-19 variant is now present in Guyana, resulting in the surge in new cases and deaths. The Ministry of Health here is still to confirm the presence of any such variant. Since Guyana dispatched samples earlier this year to the Caribbean Public Health Agency and those samples came back negative for the variant, the Ministry of Health has not sent out any more samples to be tested. In the past 2 months, the country has seen a steep increase in new cases of coronavirus and deaths, which many health professionals believe is as a result of a deadlier and faster spreading variant of the virus being here. However, during his COVID-19 update today, the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, said there is still no confirmation, and he's now seeking information from PAHO.
We don't know what are the different types of variants, if there are any, that is circulating in Guyana, because from the limited amount of gene sequencing that was done on 10 samples, we were not able to identify any such variant like P1 or any one of the others. So this is really news to us. I have since asked PAHO for a report pertaining to this disclosure, and we are awaiting their PAHO's response.
And finally, over 600,000 12 to 15-year-olds have been vaccinated against COVID-19 in the United States. More of that story from Reuters TV.
The White House COVID-19 response team announced on Tuesday that since regulators cleared the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine for 12 to 15-year-olds, around 600,000 in that age group have been vaccinated, and what CDC Director Rochelle Walensky has said is an important step for getting children back into schools and off to summer camps safely.
In less than 1 week, we have vaccinated more than 600,000 12 to 15-year-olds. And in total, more than 4.1 million adolescents aged 12 to 17 have been vaccinated so far. My own son was one of them.
The nation's top infectious disease expert, Anthony Fauci, said he expects the U.S. will have enough safety data to vaccinate children of any age by the end of 2021.
That's news. But for the very latest, visit us at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. And you can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.